TIFU by chasing diagnoses for 35 years, and the answer was in my dinner. Let me share a story that spans about 35 years. When I was around 7, I started experiencing painful swelling in my neck and throat during a road trip with my cousins. Everyone thought I was just getting sick and that some sunshine and time would help. I remember it vividly because it was so uncomfortable that I could barely eat. After a week, I returned home and told my parents. They took me to the pediatrician, who examined me and declared I had mumps, despite me being vaccinated. Eventually, it went away, but then it happened again when I was 10. A new doctor fresh out of school dismissed the mumps diagnosis and sent me for imaging and testing. Everything came back inconclusive. The new conclusion was that it was psychosomatic, which led me into years of therapy, questioning why I couldn't just let it go and whether I was seeking attention. The sensation never truly left. It just fluctuated in severity. Fast forward to age 19. I was in the military and home on leave, visiting friends and family. This issue had been bothering me for 12 years at that point. One day, I rode with a buddy to the Sprint store in freezing weather. We grabbed hot coffee before heading back out. I took a sip and felt something in my throat move, like inches. I started coughing and ended up hacking out a tonsil stone about the size of a popcorn kernel. I had no idea what it was at the time, so I wrapped it in tissue and brought it home. My parents immediately recognized it, and I felt relieved, thinking that had to be the end of it. But it wasn't. Fast forward again to around age 32. I had kids, a wife, and a career. Managing tonsil stones mostly worked, but I still had that persistent lump in throat feeling almost all the time. I finally saw an ENT in the city we had just moved to. He suggested we skip the tonsil stone routines and just take my tonsils out. No more weird mouthwashes, brushing excessively, or avoiding certain foods. I was ready to be done. The surgery was intense, with a chaotic recovery involving blood and an ER that looked like it hadn't seen many patients. But hey, my tonsils were gone, except the lump feeling was still there. I assumed it was phantom pain from the surgery and tried to live with it. We moved again to a bigger city, and I sought what felt like my 100th opinion. More tests, more appointments. This time the conclusion was allergies. I went through 3 years of allergy shots, but I still felt it. At that point, I was completely defeated. People thought I was either imagining it or seeking medication. Even my family treated it as a mental health issue. I gave up. Then yesterday, my youngest made taco rice for dinner. As I was eating, I bit down on something very hard, about the size of a small marble. I spit it into a napkin and discovered it was a bone, an actual chunk of bone. My first thought was, how does a bone like that end up in ground beef? Then it hit me. The lump feeling was gone. For the first time in 35 years, there was no swelling, no pain, no persistent lump sensation. Just normal. To sum it up, I spent 35 years being told I had mumps, anxiety, allergies, or that I was making it up. I went through years of therapy, had my tonsils removed, and did years of allergy shots. Then yesterday, I bit down on a bone chunk during dinner, and the lifelong lump and throat sensation disappeared instantly. I'm booking an ENT follow-up because this is unbelievable. Yes, I saved the bone because I knew no one would believe me otherwise. I understand it could have been lodged somewhere unusual, and I'm not claiming any medical magic, just sharing what happened exactly as I described.